Impact Wrestling had their final resolution event on Saturday, and the talk of the town wasn't the show, the quality, the matches, the storytelling involved, well, except for one. And as you can see from this image on my right, you already know where this is gonna go. So during the show, it was announced during Final Resolution that Omega and Don Callis were outside of the building in Omega's bus, and Don Callis did an interview outside the bus and was asked if Omega planned on getting involved in the show, which was an understandable reasoning because, well, Rich Swan's kind of pissed off at Omega because he's calling himself the real world champion and Rich Swan isn't, which will lead to hilarity ensuing probably down the road. Uh, yeah, I wanted to wait to talk about this for Impact. The reason why I never talked about the AEW segment was because it was just a recycling of the previous promo, but just less longer. So, of the Impact promo. So I was like, nah, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll wait if any of the development comes out between this coming AEW Impact appearance for Kenny Omega or Final Resolution, and as part of the crossover event they're doing. And sure enough, they do a crossover. So Kenny Omega is at the show. He's at the building. And as you can tell, I'm wearing my Undertaker Snoop Dogg jacket, Snoop Dogg shirt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen again. Uh, so one of the things that was brought up was that Don Callis says that Kenny Omega was here visiting family, and I was like, wait, he has family here? Oh, I wonder who that could be. And there are two people that are in Impact Wrestling, and Impact Wrestling has a deal with them with AEW. It's Karl Anderson and Doc Gallows. But where's Doc Gallows, you're wondering? So Doc Gallows, if no one's been watching Impact, was taken out because during their feud with Ethan Page, I believe. I haven't checked much of the storyline going on, but yeah, Doc Gallows was beaten down before the show, and he was written off, so he couldn't be there for the big reunion. So yeah, at final resolution, former Bullet Club stablemate, the Machine Gun, Karl Anderson, was on the bus, chatting up with Kenny Omega, talking about the good old days of Bullet Club, reigning and running things, and reminiscing how they were just the bad boys coming in, doing all the crazy stuff they did, and it was great to see that reunion, that connectivity history. Instead of just say, "Oh, you're my friend. We did that stuff in Japan," and we're actually naming the stuff that happened in Japan. Like how WWE tried to do with AJ Styles and the club, which didn't really work at all. Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, just this what 2 to 4 minute tease they did, hanging out and chatting, being organic. I was more invested in that than I was ever invested with the Styles and the club, the good old boys, the Good Brothers. Uh, that's sad, isn't it? That I have more investment in this than I have with the WWE with AJ Styles. So yeah, like it's not even them like getting together, beating people down. It's just reminiscing about the old days, having fun and going crazy and all that. It was just feeling organic, and when you add that added history, because it did happen, you don't just, it's not like when they were in WWE and Karl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and AJ Styles had to say, oh, that thing we did in Japan, we ran the world, we destroyed everything, without ever actually going into detail about what they did, which would have been fun because it would have made people want to see what's going on over there than what's going on the main roster of WWE. But just hearing them talk and mentioning, hey, Karl Anderson, you made it to the G1 Climax in 2012. You made it to the finals, and you had that match of the year bout with Kazuchika Okada. Like, I love that. I love the connective history. I love the shared universe mentality they're doing. I mean, and some people joke how Impact's probably never going to get WWE on their good graces ever again after this, because they did have some acknowledgement deal or something like that going on, and now it's like, well, Vince is going to be pissed off at them because they're committing sacrilege. against Vince McMahon. Hallowed be his name. And then Omega and Don Callis says when Karl Anderson has to explain that he has to go have a match with Ethan Page because vengeance and opportunity title matches down the road happening. So that happens. Kenny Omega says, "You can do it, man. I believe in you. Hey, don't worry. You're gonna be back in no time. We're gonna have champagne party for the cocktail hour." And Karl Anderson just goes with his little shed of doubt, like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a little bit longer than that," because, and this actually is understandable why he would have that thought process because he's not like Karl Anderson. Let's see, 2012 was like a million freaking years ago. Sorry, I got some weird taste in my mouth. Um, Karl Anderson hasn't been the machine gun, unless you count it saying the name constantly, since he was in WWE, since he left New Japan. Man, what's that smell? My sister probably got some perfume. Sorry about that. Okay, that cleared up my throat with that weird scent that was in my throat. So, yeah, and Omega called Anderson an inspiration after the 2012 G1 finalist version of Karl Anderson was gone. Anderson got hyped up and said he showed them the machine gun. Anderson would have his match with Page in a 13-minute bout. Anderson won that match. If Page won, the North Page and Josh Alexander would have gotten a title shot for the Impact Tag titles. Gallus didn't appear following a previous attack by Page. However, sadly, after his segment with Anderson, Omega never showed up again. The segment is actually available to watch on the Impact Wrestling YouTube channel. I'm just talking about my opinion on it. And that this coming Tuesday, he is set to make an appearance there for Impact Wrestling. And Meltzer has also stated that has also reported that the plan is for Omega to headline at least some Impact pay-per-view shows. So yeah, I don't know if I should tune into the Impact shows just for this crossover event, but I will cover it hopefully with enough time. But yeah, Kenny Omega. Yeah, he's going places, and he's going to fight Joey Janelle in a no DQ match on Wednesday's Dynamite. If Janelle gets the victory, he'll get a shot at Omega's world title in AEW. So, yeah, they're already teasing Kenny Omega's going to go and become the belt collector, the cleaner. He's going to clean up all the promotions and take over the world one more time. And this crossover event is seriously fun. Like, yeah, it had a little bit of rinse and repeat on Dynamite, but I could kind of understand that because not that many people watched Impact. In fact, some probably still thought Impact was out of business, or was just gone. But yeah, I am excited for all this potential going on. It's enjoyable. I'm excited. I'm shaking. Like, and I can't stop doing this. Like, man, I've not been excited for this in a long time. Seeing this shared universe because I was not around during the old school days. With some of my buddies are on Twitter, where they talk about in the olden days of wrestling, we had people cross over and had different promotions, titles show up on different brands, different companies, and now we're getting that. Like, did you like? Think about this. Imagine if the pandemic never happened and they still went with this. Could you imagine the thunderous reactions fans would get, especially the hardcore fans would get, seeing the era of the territories coming back under new repolished direction with this shared connectivity going on? I would love it. I'm loving every moment of it. And I'm hoping if it has happened, Kenny Omega, that AEW, Impact, NWA, and New Japan Pro Wrestling all get together and do a big rebirth pay-per-view event to signify that this is now the big leagues now. Oh, they're going up there with WWE. Together, they will be the unstoppable force, meaning WWE's immovable object. And I honestly think that if they get the right advertisements and and all these top guys coming in, guys and gals, they could honestly. And also, you gotta remember, Stardom's part of New Japan now by the acquisition. So imagine all that, the Knockouts, the Stardom roster, the AEW roster of women, because they really need that benefit, and all the big guys and big stars and whatnot, all on a supercard event. That would be freaking awesome. Like they said, they probably not. Cody says they'll probably never do that, but that would be ultimately up to Tony Khan and if all these other promotions are up for it. And it looks more plausible now than it did 3 years ago. In fact, it's probably been more plausible since, I don't know, probably 30 years for fans who've. I'm like, yeah, you got like one or two promotions, but then you saw All In, and then you're like, oh, these are all multiple promotions sharing their talent for this independently funded event. So yeah, Karl Anderson is coming. Apparently, Kenny Omega had some big plans for Karl, well, instead of just having some chit chat about the past and getting drunk. Uh, because one of the rumors going around is that we're going to see the Good Brothers fight the Young Bucks. Please say yes, that's true. But yeah, if Kenny Omega is indeed going to go to Impact pay-per-views and wrestle there while wrestling in AEW, that's gonna really boost things up for them. I'm loving this crossover so far. This is and since pay-per-views are a little bit different in Impact than they are in AEW, does that mean that this partnership, if it goes more better and more lucrative for both, won't that mean it extends it more for probably 6 months at best, maybe a year? If any new developments come up, like maybe New Japan be interested. So we'll see. We'll see about that. So let's stay tuned for all this and get overly hyped on something that probably should happen or not. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I am going to watch every second of it, and I will be hopefully be able to talk about the no DQ match, the hardcore match on this coming Dynamite, and talk about Kenny Omega's appearance in one video. So yeah, good luck with all that. This was Near Reality Entertainment's The WrestleVerse program, and feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other channels, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.